the fucking Undertaker! Hello, my fellow Marks, and welcome to the Remark, the only show less watchable than One Night in China. My name's Martin, and I'm suing CM Punk and Colt Cabana for not talking shit about me on their podcast. I just feel really left out. This week on Teenage Mutant Cena Turtles, Justin Bieber came out and got us all psyched up for Fastlane.
I'm not going to stand here and bore y'all with my resume. I'm just going to say this.
I actually happen to have a copy of John Cena's resume, and it's pretty much what you'd expect. So how are you going to beat Rusev, John?
The way to beat an athlete like Rusev is you have to take the fight to Rusev.
How Machiavellian. The only way to beat Rusev is to fight him. I would have gone about it a whole other way. I would have taken the fight far away from Rusev. I just wait for the bell to ring and then walk briskly in the opposite direction, punching at thin air. Lala and Tinky Winky come out and people start chanting USA at them, pissing Rusev right off.
I don't need your USA.
He doesn't need your USA. He doesn't need your thought control. No dark sarcasm on the canvas. Cena, leave them kids alone. Hey! Cena! Leave them kids alone! All in all, you're just another prick who can brawl. Rusev and Lana disrespect John Cena by making fun of his super serious peekaboo hand motion, which causes John Cena to be goaded into attacking Rusev. Johnny Yolo bulgarizes the Brute-Garian and promises to deliver ruthless aggression at Fastlane. Reckless abandon. It's a totally different thing. Not the same. Different. Completely distinct from one another. Quite dissimilar. Booker T complains,
I personally don't like this John Cena right here, guys.
He has a point, you know. This John Cena who beats people up outside the ring is considerably worse than the John Cena who beats people up inside the wrestling ring. That's just low. I mean, you're not in a wrestling ring. Beating people to a bloody pulp is totally okay when you're standing there, but not when you're standing there. Michael Cole offers his congratulations to Saturday Night Live, who are celebrating their 40th anniversary. Let's take a look at some of the funniest moments from SNL's run. Classic stuff! Dean Ambrose parodies Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update segment and manages to be much funnier than literally every single episode of SNL, despite not telling any jokes. Skinner 2.0 faces Dean Ambrose in a match that is so physical that both men become a single entity.
Luke Ambrose, a very dangerous competitor.
Yes, Michael, Luke Ambrose is extremely dangerous, but I'm pretty sure that Dean Harper can take him, or your name isn't Booker Saxton. Dusty Rhodes' Twitter gets hacked by somebody who can string together a coherent sentence. And then there is a promo for Kid Ink's Fastlane theme song entitled Faster, which is ironically really fucking slow. And shit. That part isn't ironic though, it's just shit. Sextuple H is lecturing Kane backstage, and Big Show comes in, making things really awkward because nobody can remember if he's a face or a heel at this point. Bray Wyatt forgot to pay his electricity bill. Gold and Stardust get a surprise visit from a slab of gristle with features, who gives them a pep talk and tells them that family is more important than the entire universe. Literally. The entire universe. That's what he says. Stardust is his usual impish self and blows a bunch of paper stars into the air.
Damn it, Cody, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, Cody. Stop behaving like such a fool. Try being more respectable, like your brother, who wrestled in women's lingerie and molested his opponents. Or your father, who is Dusty Rhodes. Gold and Stardust take on the nation of exploitation, while Booker T discusses his family history.
Me and my brother, we didn't speak for 6 years. Once something like this starts, man, it's like a snowball going downhill. It gets bigger, faster, and stronger.
It gets bigger, faster, and stronger too. He's the first member of the Harlem Heat crew. Ha! JBL lists a number of siblings who have also had a rocky past.
Steiner brothers didn't like each other at times. The Briscoe brothers at times fought each other. The Funk brothers.
Yeah, but they wasn't brothers.
Yes, Booker. The Steiner brothers, the Briscoe brothers, and the Funk brothers were not brothers. What? There is some miscommunication between Gold and Stardust, allowing Kofi Kingston to pick up the victory, although according to Michael Cole, it was Xavier Woods, because yay, racism! Stardust finally turns on Goldust, after teasing it about 1,000 bloody times, much to Booker T's consternation.
Damn it, Cole. Star. Come on.
Speaking of gold stars, you get one for trying, Booker. Byron Saxton interviews Roman Reigns backstage and attempts to get a reaction out of him. But unfortunately for Byron, he's talking to Roman Reigns, and reacting would first require acting. The Pillsbury Doughboy's great uncle Chester approaches Cody Rhodes and tries to talk sense into him, but Cody responds,
Cody Rhodes is dead. And as far as I am concerned, so is my father.
This would be deeply insulting if it weren't for the fact that Dusty Rhodes had been declared clinically dead several years ago and replaced with a remarkably accurate sock puppet. Roman Reigns takes on Kane in a match so exciting that the crowd starts chanting for Daniel Bryan, who is sitting at ringside doing nothing. But at least the announcers have respect for the wrestlers.
Guys, let's not disrespect Roman Reigns. There's a match going on out here.
What's your point?
Yes, JBL, what is your point? Just because Roman Reigns is taking part in a physically challenging match for the entertainment of millions of people doesn't mean he deserves respect. Go back to talking about Total Divas. At least that show has some dignity. The extremely supportive WWE fans start chanting, "You can't wrestle," at a professional wrestler who has spent his entire life training to do that. And Booker T gives us the lowdown on Roman Reigns' opponent.
Tell you, they don't call him Corporate Kane for nothing. This he's a businessman.
Whoa! I wasn't intimidated by Kane before, but now that I know he does paperwork and wears a classy suit, I'm extremely concerned for Roman Reigns' safety. Watch out, Roman! He might attempt to synergize your core competency. Then you'd be fucked. Bray Wyatt is back and hating on indie video games.
Limbo is no place for a soul like yours.
Byron Saxton is loitering outside the women's locker room like a giant fucking creep, and then I start projecting my fantasies onto the screen somehow. Paige's clothes have been stolen by the Fella twins, so she's forced to do something even more humiliating than compete in the Divas division. Wear a tutu. I didn't even know I had that fetish. JBL is as reliable as Wikipedia.
That or it's a goth Hogwarts princess.
So, Paige is the main character from My Immortal. That's good casting, actually. After all, like every other Mary Sue, Paige is unnaturally perfect.
Walt Disney is spinning in his grave.
I'm not sure what dimension JBL is from, but apparently it's the one where Walt Disney created Harry Potter and had goth princesses wrestling in tutus. In other words, the superior dimension. Seth Rollins is conversing with J.J. Abrams' security backstage, and we get another video package warning that Sheamus' return is regrettably unavoidable. Jables is especially keen to see the Celtic Guardian again.
You don't like to fight, you better quit now, cause Sheamus is coming back!
Otherwise, we'll just have to fire you on your wedding day and tell everybody you quit. Oh wait, that's a different situation. Seth Rollins claims he should take over hosting The Daily Show and disses Jon Stewart in the process. Come on, Seth. Only an ignorant buffoon would try to steal Jon Stewart's gimmick and ape the comedic stylings of The Daily Show. I mean, you'd have to be an absolute twat to think that you could pull off anything remotely similar to The Daily Show. Who would have the balls to try something like that? Dolph Ziggler has some Tolkien-esque threats for Rollins.
Tell your two Hobbit security guards to step back.
Yes, Seth, tell those goth Hobbit Hogwarts princesses from Walt Disney's Discworld series to back the fuck off. Besides, they don't want to be late for second breakfast. It's funny because I'm a nerd.
That's right, Frodo and Bilbo, get out of the ring.
But I thought they were the Lord of the Rings. Ziggler and Seth Rollins wrestle, and then at the end of the match, J&J security interfere to stop Seth from losing, causing him to lose. Then the entire mid-card runs out to the ring, and the writers realize that they forgot to give the matches at the pay-per-view in 6 days, so they're all feuding now. Just cuz. The Fastlane pre-show will be a special episode of Miz TV, with special guest Paul, oops, where did that money go, Heyman. Ironically, The Miz treats Mizdow about as well as Paul treated the vast majority of his roster. Triple H comes out and declares that he isn't afraid of Sting, even if it does glow blue when orcs or goblins are present. Then out comes the nature boy Ric Flair, who Booker T believes to be Barack Obama.
The president has arrived.
I could make a political joke right now, but I'd rather not have the YouTube comments devolve into a minefield of hateful debate. So instead, here's some random footage of CM Punk's ass. Ric Flair has some high praise for Hunter.
If people say, Rick, who's the greatest wrestler alive today? And I say, Triple H when he's wrestling.
But when he's not wrestling, he's shit at it. President Obama advises Triple H not to underestimate the vigilante Sting.
I don't want Sting to sneak up on you.
Because if anything says stealth, it's the middle-aged gentleman in the black and red trench coat wielding a baseball bat with white paint on his face. The Ultimate Warrior was also a good example of perfect camouflage. Triple H defiantly pushes Flair over, and Booker T is very confused that the president's entourage of bodyguards aren't around to prevent this from happening. Triple H promises that after Fastlane, Sting won't show his face in the WWE ever again. Unless you pre-order the WWE from GameStop, in which case Sting's face will be unlockable on the disc. Michelle McCool promotes John Cena's upcoming guest spot on Parks and Recreation, where he will likely be very confused because it is a television show that prominently features female characters that have more than one dimension. It also has Ron Swanson, the only person alive who has more mild smugness than Roman Reigns. The Ascension are going to wrestle Darren Young and generic McBlandface, but then Titus O'Neil shows up and the match never starts because the referee is too busy asking who the fuck is Titus O'Neil to tell anyone to ring the bell. The Miz asks Bad News Barrett to knock Mizdow down a few pegs, and JBL shows us why he's paid to do commentary.
Why don't you have your people call my people?
He's calling his people.
Former WWE champion and accomplished stock market investor John Bradshaw Layfield, everybody. Mizdow has a match against Bad News Barrett, and JBL compares Mizdow to Manchester United. No, JBL. British people actually care about Mizdow and would probably pay good money to watch him in action. The Miz rings a bell to get Mizdow to clean his shoes, a gimmick inspired by the real-life relationship between Triple H and Alberto Del Rio, and Barrett uses the distraction to gain a victory. Dean Ambrose then reenacts 50 Shades of Me, zip-tying Wade's hands around the ring post and forcing him to sign a contract to give him an Intercontinental title shot. Hold on a tick. Intercontinental title? Is that real? Hold on a sec, I'll just call my people and find out.
He's calling his people.
Booker T questions the validity of the contract, causing JBL to ask,
Where's Jack Tunney?
Dead. Bray Wyatt is trying to break the record for longest and most meandering promo ever, currently held by Eric Rowan.
The angel with the burnt wings cometh.
Dude, spoilers. I haven't seen season 4 of Supernatural yet. There's a mixed genders tag match, which causes my bladder to be extremely confused. Michael Cole is impressed by the women's performance.
Oh, wow. He was stealing the show.
Oh, wow. Women can wrestle? Who knew? This whole time I thought they were just looking for the kitchen and just wandered into the ring accidentally. But no, they can professionally wrestle with each other. This is so weird. Holy shit. Women wrestling? Don't their vaginas get in the way? Cesaro and Tyson Kidd ridicule Natalya for losing, and then Roman Reigns comes out, a man who is ridiculed for winning. Roman watches the Big Show wrestle with Daniel Bryan, and thankfully, unlike Daniel, he doesn't provide running commentary, or in Roman's case, walking commentary. While Daniel Bryan puts Big Show in a sleeper hold, Roman Reigns proves he can go one better and puts an entire row of fans to sleep while signing autographs for them. Big Show accidentally spears Roman Reigns when aiming for Daniel Bryan, and Booker T puts it succinctly,
Roman in the wrong place but the wrong side of town.
So Roman was both in the wrong place and in the wrong place. Or vice versa, really. Daniel starts to gain momentum, but then Roman Reigns comes into the ring and Superman punches Big Show, who was in the wrong time at the wrong time. Daniel takes offense to Roman Reignsing on his parade, and they start fighting with each other. Sometimes in the ring, which is good, but sometimes outside of the ring, which is bad. Referees come out and wave at them going, no, don't do that, but it is to no avail. Daniel and Roman fight until Raw goes off the air, and the announcers remind us that only one of them can go to WrestleMania. I wonder who it could be!
The Big Show!
Grooving on to Smack My Bitch Up, The Miz is wrestling a miniature Rasputin. Before the match, Miz threatens Mizdow, telling him that if he tries to break out of his supporting role, he'll never work in this town again. Unlike The Miz, who has had several starring roles in such big projects as hold on, I know this one. Starts with an M. Hold on, let me just call my people and find out.
He's calling his people.
Mizdow starts showboating on the apron, so Miz tells him to go backstage and get him a towel. I know the feeling. Whenever I Miz, I also need a towel afterwards. And then Daniel Bryan makes Miz tap out to the Crippler. Yes, lock. Ryback, creatively nicknamed the Big Guy, is taking on Kane. Michael Cole helps us figure out who's who.
And there is Kane on your left, the Big Guy Ryback on your right.
Yes, that's Ryback, the Big Guy on the right, and Kane, the Big Twat on the left. Primrose Everdeen joins the announcers on commentary and watches Bad News Barrett take on R-Truth. Dean spends most of his time ignoring the match entirely and focusing on talking about Byron Saxton's suit, which puts him slightly ahead of Michael Cole as a play-by-play expert. Dean is just as enthusiastic about R-Truth's career as the WWE creative team.
Truth be Barrett! Oh.
Did you know that R-Truth was briefly a main eventer?
Oh.
And he held the United States title for a while.
Oh.
And WWE Fastlane happens this week.
Oh.
Dean totally ignores Bad News Barrett as he leaves the arena, which is somehow infinitely more entertaining than every direct confrontation between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. And then my fantasies are being projected onto the screen again. Wait, no, I didn't mean that. Seriously, guys, I didn't mean to say that. You guys are gonna cut that out, right? Yeah? Okay. Bray Wyatt is still challenging his mystery opponent, but who on Undertaker could it be? I'm sorry, I mean, who on earth could it be?
The Big Show!
You're not helping. The New Day are a legitimate team of wrestlers who are taken very seriously by everybody.
Oh, Fort Lottie-Dottie, you got to feel it in your body. Come on now, feel the power.
Come on, King! I'm feeling it!
They face off against the Shawshank Redemption, who have this to say.
Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes came back to Raw this week. We would destroy them, but they're not. So we'll make the New Day our latest victims.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Roman Reigns does narration for a Fastlane promo, putting Morgan Freeman to shame. Making Morgan Freeman ashamed. Luke Reigns takes on Roman Harper, and Roman beats the man who is currently wallowing in the mid-card, proving that he deserves to main event at WrestleMania. Right? The Big Show wrestles with Eric Rowan, and Jerry Lawler quips that the Big Show's mother had to have a C, D, E, and F section. This is kind of shit. The WWE are having a crossover movie with the Flintstones.
Oh.
Which is very appropriate, since WWE's health policies belong in the Stone Age. Goth Hogwarts Princess Paige is wrestling Cameron. And God once again punishes us for our mortal sins by putting the Bella twins on commentary. Michael Cole takes note of Nikki Bella's reaction to Paige winning.
I think she looks concerned, King.
He thinks she looks concerned, but it's rather hard to tell what with Nikki's inability to convey emotions or feelings or any interest. Oh wait, sorry, that last one's just me. Renee Young interviews Goldust, who announces that he will be going one-on-one with his brother Stardust at Fastlane, a match that has literally been thrown together at the last minute, but still has more hype than any other match on the pay-per-view card. Stardust channels the Gatekeeper and threatens to banish Goldust to the Black Hole.
If all the gold in Fort Knox, all the gold in Solomon's Temple, if it eventually grows dumb.
Speaking of gold growing dull, the tag team champions, the Usos, come out. Jimmy Olsen is taking on Tyson Kidd in a match to determine who gives a fuck. Turns out it's nobody, and Cesaro tells Princess Celestia what he learned this week.
The power of friendship is far more powerful than blood.
Then Cesaro and Tyson Kidd steal Dwight Schrute's gimmick.
Fact!
Then Rusev shows up and reminds everybody that there are legitimately interesting feuds happening. Rusev is considerably more comprehensible than Scott Steiner.
Na listo! Aż się zapomnieć
Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler do battle, and this time J&J Security are barred from ringside. They managed to find a subtle loophole in that clause, though, by bringing out literally everybody else. The announcers get into a heated and very relevant discussion about whether J&J Security are really hobbits, which is appropriate because this feud feels like it's been stretched just as thin as the Hobbit trilogy. Shulkamania is running wild.
I think Dolph Ziggler's feeling it now, Byron.
Seth Rollins defeats Dolph Ziggler, and then the Fellowship of the Wrestling Ring reunites. Big Show attempts to be intimidating. Big Show, stop doing that chicken impression. You sound like a twat.
I'm having fun.
The Authority decimate Rowan, Ziggler, and Ryback, making an already dull and predictable feud duller and predictabler. And thus, the last SmackDown before Fastlane comes to a conclusion. What will happen this Sunday? Will John Cena become the mayor of Pawnee? Will Fred Flintstone lose to Bedrock Lesnar? And will the Mammoths finally reveal themselves? There's only one way to find out, and it's by calling my people.
He's calling his people.
Oh, Fort Lottie-Dottie, you got to feel it in your body. Come on now, feel the power.
Come on, King.
I'm feeling it. Feel the power in my body.
Byron, you're like a bump on the log out here.
I don't have to be told when to clap.